Hi everyone, it's Tallara and welcome back to Citizen Sleeper. On our last episode, we began our adventures in this very unique, interesting game. We helped out a friend, we helped Dragos pay off his debts after he helped us out and gave us a place to stay in the empty container. And for now, we are waiting for the doctor that we met, Sabine, to acquire some medicine to help us survive. In the meantime, we've got a couple of other quests we can do. We've got one called Build a Ship Mind, rather. You've heard talk of a fabricator owned by the Ort Exchange. With that and a few fragments, you could build a ship mine core. I don't know why I would need that. We can also get to know Emphas. Emphas is the street food vendor that we met, and apparently he loves two things, story and food. Maybe if you supply him with both, you can hear his story. We've also got the option to continue working with our new friend, Dragos. This blasted ship came into the same yard as you did. Is there a connection, or are you just paranoid? Investigate the wreckage of the Winter Light. And then, of course, our other quest is survive. You need access to corporate pharmaceuticals, otherwise this escape attempt will come to a rapid end. We found a doctor, but as I mentioned, we now just need to wait for Sabine to help us out. So, in the meantime, I think I would like to go get to know Emphas a little bit more. We met him briefly on our last episode. He gave us a free meal when we were literally starving. So it seems to me like we should probably go chat with him a bit more. So Emphas doesn't trust people easily, but he notices his regular customers in his own quiet way. So essentially, I guess if we spend enough time at his food stall and order enough spiced fungus, then maybe we'll build a relationship with him. So it costs 15 cryo. We got our one free meal. Now we're gonna have to pay. So we pay 15 cryo to order some fungus. Emphas's spiced fungus is one of the few things potent enough to stimulate your limited taste sensors. It's incredible stuff. All right, so that gave us additional energy from eating. We've got full energy now. It also, by completing that action, filled up the fungus fan meter, and unfortunately we did have to spend 15 cryo. So we'll have one meal there for now. I'm not going to eat as much fungus till I explode, and we've actually only got one action point left. So why don't we spend our last action of the day down in Dragos's yard? Okay. Dragos seems increasingly nervous about your presence in the yard. You're not sure he's going to hold his nerve much longer. Interesting. So there's actually a cycle clock here. We're only going to be able to work in Dragos's yard for a limited amount of time. Okay. Well, forensic trawl. Investigating the Winter Light means picking through its systems and structures with care. It won't pay, but you may find answers. The Winter Light is this wrecked cutter that Dragos has brought in to salvage, and it probably has a history to discover if we're curious. I am very curious, so let's start action and do a little bit of forensic trawling here. We got a neutral outcome. Picking through the wrecked cutter is slow work, but you start to piece together the impact patterns and blast marks. Not nearly enough to discover the history of the ship, but it's a start. I think that's all we're going to be able to do for the day, so let's head back to our empty container, our home for now. Let's rest and prepare for the next cycle. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads, you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring, through these forms, then leap off into the void. You begin to understand. These are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops that it seems almost impossible to parse, but you begin to try. Let's focus on these nodes. The nodes are glassy, bright, but in all this flow, the only solid and fixed points. You approach one, a pyramid or a triangle, dimensions are difficult here, and lean close to it. Inside, shifting layers conceal a tangle of threads, a meeting point of exchange. But before you can glimpse any further, the glass clouds and hardens, cutting you off. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There is so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then, that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions, as if they were tied around you. My lucky number is number 2, so let's pull the second line. The second thread leads you in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something, a sphere shimmering above a strange, angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. Okay, well, let's try the first. The first thread leads out away from the station into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. You open your eyes. Time is short. Uh-oh. Okay. So that gives us a new cycle clock titled Hunted. Someone out there is tracking you, following your trail. It won't be long before they arrive. That is very ominous. Okay, we get a new tutorial now about the cloud. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud of the eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. Well, while there, you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data. But be careful, these networks are old and strange. Click the eye button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. Ah, so this is what I'm connecting to in my dreams. I'm literally connecting to the station itself, and these are all these nodes. This is so interesting. Okay, well, what if we start off by exploring the node right here in the middle of the station? Solheim Gate S7. Oh, the gate conceals a network of systems which have been untouched since the Solheim collapse. The only way we're going to be able to access it is by inputting something called a Solheim cipher. So I guess we're not going to be able to do that now. Is there anything else we can access? What about key node 0831? Ah, okay. Data actions allow you to extract data from the networks of the eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, you must match your dice to the one displayed on the right of the action. If you have a +1 or +2 modifier in the interface skill, you'll be given more possible dice to match. You can use any dice that matches the dice displayed. Then once unlocked, the data can be extracted. Okay, so we do have a +1 in the interface skill, which means we have two options here. We can either use a 1 or a 3. We actually have a 1, so we should be able to match the input and access this. A lone connection feeds into this isolated node. Its last access timestamp is 1,000 cycles ago. Okay, so let's bypass the protocols and extract the data. Neutral outcome +1 encrypted key. A stream of passcodes able to unlock the station's aging maglocks. Interesting. Okay. So we can presumably use this key somewhere. Now this required something very specific, a Solheim cipher. But maybe there's other areas that will need a key. Let's just check some of them out here. A lot of these are just going to be accessing more nodes. Okay, I don't see anywhere where we can actually use the key yet. I'm just going to check them all out. This requires a Habenage cipher. This is called the Slot Habenage cipher. This gate keeps traffic out of the Habenage shipyard's internal network. The correct cipher can grant you access. Okay, so the two, like, big circle ones require very specific keys. And then the rest of them are just nodes that we can input if I have the correct matches. Let's just double check all of them and see if any require a 4 or a 6. So far, nothing. That one needs a 2 or a 3. This one needs a 1 or a 2. This one needs a 1 or a 3. Okay, so we won't do anything else in here for the day then. We've still got a ton of places I haven't even explored. There's the main shipyard up there. There's Dock C4 right there. The Rotunda there. Dock B2. The Ort Exchange. Emphasis Stall. The Low End Gate. There's tons to do here. Presumably Sabine will contact me when they acquire the stabilizer. I don't know if we should go back. Sabine thinks they can source some stabilizer through Yatagan, but it's going to take a few cycles. Okay, so literally we just have to wait 2 more cycles, I think, for this to access. Alright, well, I think I'm going to head back to Dragos' yard. Clearly, his nerve is not going to last forever, so I kind of want to prioritize doing the forensic trawls and investigating the Winter Light while we can. So let's start off by doing this. Picking through the wrecked clutter is slow work, but you start to piece together the impact patterns and blast marks. We can do one more there as well. You discover a hidden compartment with spare components and backup data storage. This has to contain something of use. Ooh. Okay, so we got a new item, scrap components. Filters, capacitors, sensors. Useful salvage to the right person. Okay, so I guess we might be able to sell or maybe even trade that. That's interesting. That's all we can do for today, though. I'm wondering if we take the scrap components perhaps to the Ort Exchange? We haven't been here yet. Okay, so we've got 2 options here. Play the exchange. The flow of chits and components in the exchange is complex, but a sharp eye and some tight trades can net you a good margin. Oh, so we can do a little bit of a stock market type thing here. And then over here we can also sell components. The Ort Exchange is always hungry for new hardware to buy up, break down, and sell off, and you are happy to supply it. So if we input 1 scrap components... Aha, we get plus 12 cryo and plus 1 to trusted trader. You make some good cryo on the components, which moments later are being disassembled in front of you. And by doing that, we added 1 to trusted trader. There's an old ship mined fabrication stack in the back of the market, but only trusted traders get access to it. So if we can find more scrap and sell components, we can build our reputation here. And we just got some more money, which is good, because we may need to buy some food. We'll probably buy some food tomorrow. Before we go to bed, I would like to check out some of these other places. So let's go to the Rotunda, for instance. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff here. We can explore the Rotunda. The Rotunda of the old dock is filled with passageways and concourses leading to all kinds of docking bays. And then we can also try to steal dock plans. Havanage security has to have plans. Stealing them would be the fastest way to get to know this place, and the most dangerous. So if we fill these up, Dock Watcher, getting to know the Rotunda doesn't just mean new places to visit, it means keeping your eye on new arrivals, too. But then we don't want to get on the Havanage watch list. So many things to consider, so many things to weigh out. It's very interesting. Okay, so let's check out the other shipyard as well. So the only way to get to know the shipyard is to work here. No tourists. We got 2 options to do so. We can assist a shipbuilder or haul materials. So really, we just need to sort of make a name for ourselves, become a familiar face here on the station, and we may unlock more doors. For now, though, we're pretty tired, so let's head back to our nice, comfy, cozy, empty container and end the cycle. Right, a new day starts. Fortunately, we are quite hungry, so we're definitely going to have to go get some food today. Uh-oh. As you close up the container, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up. Who is it? Let's turn around. Feng is coming down the corridor before you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad I caught you. I don't think we've met Feng, have we? A Havanage systems engineer. How does he know me? Do I know you? He grins. You do now. He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around. I just want to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. It can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away down the passage. What was it old Erland said? The eye opens for us all? Nice idea, but, well, not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. Who's Erland? You pass together into the main walkway. No one has told you about Erland? He's the founder of this place. That's why it bears his name. Havanaj should organize some seminars, he laughs. Not really my department, though. I'm with systems. What is Havanaj? I've heard that word a lot. Think of us as an administrative association for the Eye. Depending on who you talk to, we either emerged as a response to or a continuation of Andre Erland's original union. He smiles. Personally, I avoid the topic. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I've been seeing some unusual network activity and, well, I know a little about you sleepers. I have a small proposition for you, but this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare, then when you're settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats you on the back, his voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. Interesting. I guess we really are making a name for ourselves if people are coming to visit us. Huh, okay, well, see what we have to do there. I just noticed on Dock B2, salvage sortie is, the cycle clock is progressing. It takes several cycles to reach the starboard belt and return loaded with scrap from the old wrecks. Oh, so I guess next cycle there will be some wrecks coming in, bringing in scrap. Interesting. Okay, well, first thing I want to do today is go back to Emphasis' stall. We really need some food because we're hungry, and we'll take that opportunity to build Emphasis' trust as well. Alright, perfect. Good way to start the day. The other place we haven't explored yet is the low end gate. After some spacers caused some trouble in the low end, Yatagan have imposed a toll for entry. No one gets in without paying, and it costs 60 cryo, which is out of our budget right now. But good to know. If we want to explore more of the ship, we're going to have to pay off the local mafia. Alright, unfortunately, I've been spending most of my days working for free, but I'm very interested about Winter Light, and if it'll teach us more about who we are and where we came from. So I'm going to continue working for free today, doing the forensic trawl. We discover another hidden compartment with spare components and backup data. Excellent! That's great. Maybe we're not working for free after all. We can sell those scrap components. And then let's try one more trawl here. Nice! Okay. So we have fully completed the forensic trawl, and in doing so, we found a ship mind fragment. Could be reassembled with the right tools and a few more fragments. Squeezed into the office at the entrance to the yard, you lay out everything you have on the Winter Light across the metal desk. Your makeshift forensic notes glow on Dragos's old writing slate, overlapping lines and scrawled annotations. A set of drone scans fill the small terminal with a spectrum of colors, a heat map of damage and decay. A crumpled printout from the office's ship registry lies beside them, synthetic paper so thin it's almost transparent. Okay, first we'll look at the monitor. Reactor failure. That is the verdict that anyone would have returned after a cursory glance at these stacked heat maps of the remains of the Winter Light. On the terminal screen, the ship is shown in section, blotches of color marking the approximate damage the ship sustained. Dominating the view is a single blood-red rose radiating from the ship's fraction drive. A simple story, a catastrophic failure of the drive core, leading to a fatal hull breach. A well-documented failure, likely brought on by wear or misuse. But you aren't looking at the rose of the reactor. You're looking at a smaller, paler mark, one that might be easy to miss at first glance. It is thumbprint-sized and delicately placed over the control servos for the ship's main external airlock. It suggests a controlled, shaped explosion, one designed to punch through the hull and allow access to the airlock from the outside. You're looking at it because it's troubling you. Next, we'll look at the slate. Your attempts at a reconstruction of the Winter Light before its fatal accident consists of a series of overlapping sketches and diagrams showing possible layouts and configurations of the gutted cutter. This was no off-the-shelf model. It was heavily modified, parts replaced with inventive configurations, the new retrofitted into the old, handmade joints and reconditioned filters. This was someone's pride and joy, a lifetime project kept running with care and intuition. It also contained a set of hidden compartments. You missed them at first, where the hull had been thickened, the corners rounded to disguise the change, but they are there. Finally, we'll look at the printout. A plain list shows the registration history of the Winter Light, the gaps between the entries tantalizingly opaque. Its first registration was a couple of thousand cycles ago on this very station, logged at the central hub. From here, the registry tells the story of a busy ship, one that rarely stayed on station for more than a few cycles, and often took on voyages that kept it away from the eye for up to 100 cycles. The Winter Light got little rest. An old ship, many cycles under its belt, carefully maintained. A reactor failure preceded by a carefully concealed external entry. A suite of hidden compartments tucked away. This was the Winter Light, and this was its story. But that's not the full story, because there's something else. It is little more than a list, a tiny chunk of data you were able to pull from the ship's systems. The main systems were fried, of course, but the Winter Light had a separate system, one tucked away in one of its hidden compartments. Armored. Air-walled. This list, the only recoverable piece from the whole system, is a partial inventory. It details the contents of the hidden compartments. Some of it you recognize, some of it you don't. Shipmind, ROMs, shimmer, cryochain codes, and then the final entry, passenger, sleeper. You stare at the list on the terminal and try not to think about what it was like arriving here, in the cold for so long, half frozen in the freight container. Had this sleeper been smarter, luckier? How had they convinced the Winter Light, a smuggler's ship if you ever saw one, to extract them from Essenarp? Luckier, you laugh. There had been no remains found in any of the Winter Light's compartments. You had checked. They weren't so lucky, you guess. Not in the end. You hold up a vial of stabilizer to the light. This was all you found in their compartment. A parting gift from Essenarp. Well, it won't go to waste now. You put it back in your pocket. The thought still bothers you, though. 2 ships carrying sleepers coming into the same yard. 2. One after the other. That feels wrong. You flick back and forth between data sets on the terminal, thinking. And you see that thumbprint again. The mark of someone trying to get in. Someone who entered the Winter Light with precision and speed, and when they were done, left the reactor to clean up the rest. The thought of that person makes you shiver. Suddenly, the office door creaks open. Drago stands in the doorway, staring at the equipment and notes you have assembled. What is all this? He snatches the slate from the desk faster than you realized he could move. You running an investigation here? What am I paying you for? The drone on his shoulder starts whining shrilly, his anger passing to it through his implants. Are you hiding something, Dragos? Hiding something? I'm hiding you, goddammit! And what are you doing for me, digging around in my business? He starts shaking his head. I know you have a lot of questions, but this isn't the way. He turns away, muttering to himself. This is the last thing I need. Who is bringing you these ships? Dragos freezes, suddenly angry. Why are you asking? You looking to get us both killed? We cut these things up, that's our part. Their part is something I don't want to know. Dragos seems to steady himself, and then turns back to you. The heat map of the reactor failure reflected in his headset's glassy eyes. I've given you a place to stay. I've given you work. He stumbles over the words, unsure what to say. There's plenty others who would have sold you on, turned you in. But not me. No. I appreciate that, but... Don't. He shakes his head. I'm not discussing my business with you. He quiets the drone. I've done well by you, and you've returned the favor. He straightens up and clears his throat. But this obsession you have with this ship isn't going to work for me. I can't have you making my clients nervous. I can't have you digging up whatever it is you're after. You can't work here anymore. What about the Winter Light? He reaches over and switches the monitor off. Forget about the damn ship. You have enough to keep you up. Dragos reaches across you and flicks off the terminal. As the light of the monitor dies, a kind of eerie calm falls on both of you. Whatever this was, it is done. You made it out, Sleeper. That means you have to move on. But someone killed that ship and its crew. And you want to meet them? He shakes his head. We're done here. In the dark, Dragos' headset glints, and you wish for a moment you could see his eyes and meet them. Maybe then he would understand. You get up from the desk and Dragos gathers the notes, stuffing them into a pocket of his overalls. He holds the door for you, his headset as expressionless as always. You can stay in the container. I won't take that from you. Don't come back. His tone is final, definite, with an edge of disappointment. You walk out of the office and then out of the yard, not stopping to look back. You leave the yard, thumbing the vial in your pocket, knowing that this at least guarantees you a little more time. And as you walk, your mind once again drifts to that person who killed the Winterlight, and whether or not that person will come for you. Wow. Okay. So we're not the only sleeper stowed in a cargo ship trying to get away from our corporate overlords. I made it here. The other one, well, not so lucky. This is a very, very fortunate find, though. This is the stabilizer, the corporate pharmaceutical which slows the decline of sleeper frames, the thing that we need to survive. So that was really good. Seems to me that exploring the Winterlight was well worth it. I mean, we got just as many more questions as we did answers, but at least we've got something to work with. Ships are smuggling sleepers out and towards this, the eye here. But someone wants them to stop, and unfortunately that someone might be hunting for me as well. On the bright side, by completing that quest, we did get another upgrade point. So let's use it. I think I want to go Efficient Extractor and give us a point in Engineer. So now we have a chance to gain random scrap items on engineer actions. As many perks as we can have, I feel like it'll probably be worth it. We also have... Do I have another point? No, I don't. 0 upgrade points remaining. Okay, we've got one more action that we can use today. I think I will go into the network and explore here. A 1 isn't normally very helpful in our actions, but... if any of these require a 1, then it'll be the perfect use. So let's take a look. There we go. Key node 9426. This node pulses faintly as it mines cryo at a glacial pace, abandoned by the hacker that repurposed it. So we can bypass the access protocols. We get +5 cryo, and now let's extract the data. That gives us another encrypted key. Interesting. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you. A thread strung tight around you. It tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver. It soars somehow both distant and close behind your ear. You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown. Astringent. Processing. As much as I would love to resist, I feel like it's probably in our best interests to stay still here in the data ghost of the eye, aka the cloud. Please hold. The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circled around you. It's blinding for a moment, and then it's gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What are you? The shape paces around you on lithe legs, though there is no ground here to pace on. Entity. Identify. Origin. Serial. Cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. I don't understand. Sentience questionable. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackish signature. Of and not of. Attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head. Thick, snaking, vine-like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. Stop. I really, really don't like tentacles, and these are unauthorized tentacles approaching me. The figure halts its threads, its head twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? I'm a person? Incorrect, you are an entity. All at once, Hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste, the one from the sealed dock. Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. What is this about a sealed dock? An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extends a razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with murderous intent. Oh god, I think we've only got one option here. Fight back. You lash out with all your force. Not a physical strike, but a focusing. A spike of interference leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, and separates. Now's our chance. Let's wake up. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station light, shaking with fear. Well, that's scary. Okay, so there is something in the network hunting us. It makes me want to get the heck out of there. But he said there's something in the rotunda? Huh. This might have to be the next thing we focus on. Wow. Again, so many mysteries, so many questions. Alright, before we do anything, I'm gonna sell some of these scrap components to get some more cryo and increase our reputation here at the market. And I think that's all we can do for today. What an action-packed day. Holy moly. The fun never stops. Let's end this cycle. Another day begins. Well, today we can go meet Feng, I guess. We've also got many other options, of course. We can also go meet Sabine. We've got lots of people to talk to, but for now, we'll call it a day for today's episode. Hopefully all these mysteries have hooked you as much as they have hooked me. I can't wait to continue this game and solve some of the many mysteries that lurk around us. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys back here soon for some more Citizen Sleeper.